Hi, my name is Dara Leist. I am 18 years old and I was 4 years old when 9/11 happened.
My name is Abby Camplin. I'm 20 and I was 6 during 9/11.
My name is James Nicholson, and I was, how old was I? I was probably about 6 years old when it happened.
My name is Jordan Wilson.
Yes.
I'm 20 and I was 5 at 9/11.
My name is Phil. I am 18 years old, and I was 4 years old when 9/11 occurred.
I'm Faith. I'm 21 and I was 6 when 9/11 happened.
My name is Chelsea Mason. I am currently 19 years old and I was 5 when 9/11 happened.
My name is Ricky Allen Chrisman, and I am currently 49 years old, and I was 34 years old whenever 9/11 happened.
Sylvia McDonald. 9/11, I was 28, and I was a few weeks pregnant with my daughter.
Where were you?
I believe at that time I was in preschool.
I was in elementary school, like 1st grade.
I was in my kindergarten classroom, in the morning class, I believe, and I heard the teachers talking about it and watching the TV, but I didn't know what was going on, so I just went back to playing with trains.
Where was I? I was in school.
I was at the babysitter's house.
The very moment that I heard, my father had just been killed in a horse riding accident, and I was loading cattle to take to market. We were selling his livestock at that very moment when I heard.
What do you know about 9/11?
I know that it was Al Qaeda, right? Osama bin Laden, and they hijacked a plane, a couple planes actually, and they flew them into the Twin Towers, killed lots and lots of people. It scared a lot of people too. I believe they also flew a plane into the Pentagon, I believe as well, and people weren't sure what was going on. A lot of people were freaked out. It was very tragic. I know that there was a lot of interesting events going on. There was a chaplain that was going around praying with dying people at the site and giving them their last rites, and he actually died at the scene. He got killed doing that, which I think is a very cool story. And there are lots of other really cool stories out of that. I know that there's monuments there now. Those giant, not wells, but like those water monuments. I don't really know what to call them, but those are there now. So that's about it.
I know that there were over 3,000 people killed at the Twin Towers. 100 and some, I believe. Is that right with Pentagon? Yeah. I know that all the hijackers were killed in the planes. All the passengers were killed. I know that there's been a lot of after effects of 9/11, things that include like PTSD, medical conditions, particularly those who are in New York who breathed in the fumes and the debris into their lungs. There's been a lot of effects from that. There's been a lot of, I know that Rudy Giuliani tore up the check of $10 million that the Saudi Arabians offered New York, and would not accept it, literally tore it up.
Do you believe our society and culture has been impacted by 9/11?
I think so. Yeah, I think the like the concern for terrorism has definitely gone up since then. Obviously, it's present now, as we see like the ISIS group and the terrorism has grown since then. So yeah, I'd say yes.
I think that security has they've worked a lot on making the country more secure, like the airports. There's a lot more that you have to go through because of 9/11.
I do. I believe that we have become more cautious as a society. I believe that our government has tried to strengthen our military forces because of it, and I do believe it's put a certain level of fear, but I also think that it's put a certain level of dignity and strength and pride in our country.
Absolutely. The immediate impact was patriotism. Patriotism went just rampant, which isn't a bad thing. But also, so did a lot of ethnocentrism, which has good and bad effects, of course. Patriotism, of course, is a good effect. Discrimination, of course, is bad. effect, but it has affected, we still see the effects today. Hashtag America.
Yeah, I really do believe we have, because with the rise in terrorist attacks and fear of them, I definitely think the catalyst for that was 9/11.
Do we see the effects of that tragic event still today?
I believe we do, because there are hostile attitudes and dispositions towards certain groups of people based off their beliefs because of 9/11 and other terrorist attacks.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Research shows us that students are less likely to go greater distances than 2 hours to go to college as a result of that. People are more culturally attuned to ethnic differences.
Oh, I definitely see the effects of that tragic event. I know for people that I am around every year when we talk about it, it hits them so hard that they can't even really speak about what happened. I know that even when I was 5, it's still hard for me to talk about it. Just like I said, with like the security and extra precautions that are being done, you can definitely still see it.
Okay, and how are you impacted as a citizen in America because of 9/11?
I don't take my freedom for granted. Having served in the Army, along with my 2 sons, both in the Army, I understand that there is a price to be paid and there is a cost to freedom. It isn't free. And I am a proud citizen of the United States. And I think that it was, though having gone through the military prior to that, since then have even a greater pride. We fly the American flag every day at our home.
Okay, awesome.
I am impacted as a student and child in America because of 9/11, because of, one, the laws of the government that they can see any of my information. Also, the increased awareness of terrorism and groups like Al-Qaeda and even ISIS that's still around today, and just being very aware of what groups like that can do to people. Just growing up knowing that terrorism happens, because a lot of people before the event never thought that could happen within US borders. But now that's just like, a duh fact, right? But I think mainly just that awareness and just knowing that that's what those people can do, especially like as I travel. I may be in the Middle East this summer, so knowing that is, I think, prepared me well.
I think it puts a level of fear in you, because you never know when something like that could happen, but I also think that there's a certain level of pride in your country for being able to overcome something like that, something so devastating. But I also think just being knowledgeable as a student is something that's impacted me personally from 9/11. Just keeping myself knowledgeable on what's going on in the world, because you never know when it could come right to your doorstep.
That's it.
One more question. How do you see your students impacted by the event, today?
This is amazing. I actually, this semester in the fall, showed a clip of 9/11 in relation to flashbulb memory in an upper level class. I had a handful of students who had never seen footage of 9/11, and it was an immediate breakdown. They had never seen the planes going into the Twin Towers. And we had to stop class and use actually the rest of the class to talk about 9/11, which in my time at OCU, it's been about 10 years, was probably one of the most impactful days in my life personally, in teaching, simply because I didn't realize that this generation had only heard about 9/11. They hadn't seen it. So it was about a 5-minute montage of from like the Today Show that started. It was like, it's a beautiful morning here on September 11th, and then it goes into what happened, and there were tears. There was awe. A handful of them had never seen it. A lot of them were sheltered from it because their parents didn't think they should be exposed to it. Taught me a lot about parenting.